I want to look at one more clip from this Reawaken America thing. As many of you know, Donald Trump is not a religious guy. Donald Trump is not a spiritual guy. Donald Trump has had, out of necessity, because he was running as a Republican, to start kind of pretending to be religious when he wanted to become the Republican nominee. And so he started saying that the Bible is his favorite book up there with the book he wrote, which he didn't even really write. He had a ghostwriter, but fine, with his own book, The Art of the Deal. And he would try to tell little anecdotes about 2 Corinthians and this type of thing. But when he was asked, like, what's your favorite Bible verse? He didn't even have an answer. He said, well, it's too personal. I don't even want to talk about it. He now has found a very spiritual opposition to abortion, as many of you know. All of this stuff is completely contrived. There's nothing spiritual at all about Donald Trump. And quite frankly, I don't think there is about his kids either. But Eric Trump in particular has really been playing up the religious thing. I think it might be because Eric Trump is kind of the most dim-witted one. Don Jr. has his whole thing that he's used to get attention. Ivanka is less interested in being in the spotlight. And anyway, she converted to Judaism, and there's a lot of anti-Semitism on the right. So it's not like she's going to necessarily play up her religion. But Eric Trump's niche has been playing up his religiosity, playing up his spirituality, and going to events like the overtly religious Reawaken America tour. So he spoke over the weekend, and he made the claim that he makes his 4-year-old say the Pledge of Allegiance every night, along with some prayers. And he mentions in this the Antifa Code of Destruction, which is not a text I'm familiar with. Check this out. If this is real, it's horrible. And if he's lying, it's horrible that it's the type of thing that would help ingratiate him with the audience. Take a look.
And literally the second week I'm there, I've got a little 4-year-old, Luke.
Uh-oh.
And he comes home from school, and we say prayers every night together, right? We have these little 3 kind of family prayers that we say, and the Lord's Prayer, 2 others. But
Okay. Do any of us believe that every night Eric Trump and his 4-year-old say 3 prayers? Like, I don't know. If they do, it's fine, but I just have a very hard time believing that. But now we go into the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's make him stand up, put his hand on his heart, and do the Pledge of Allegiance. And so I go, Luke, I'm going to teach you the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. And he goes, oh, Dad, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. He does the whole thing. And I go, you know, in New York, they would have taught him the Antifa Code of Destruction, right? Like, literally.
Anybody know what that is? The Antifa Code of Destruction? That's not something I've ever heard of.
They're not doing the Pledge of Allegiance in New York. That much I can tell you. But why is it that we have this war on the flag? On red, white, and blue? Why is it that we have this war on the Pledge of Allegiance? Why is it that you have people tearing down statues of our historical figures? Why is it that, you know, like, they want to rewrite the governing documents of this country? They're trying to change history. They're trying to change some of the greatest figures.
He doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about. So if it's true that he forces the Pledge of Allegiance onto his 4-year-old every night, it's horrifying. If it's a lie, it's horrifying that it's the type of thing he thinks would convince people in the audience to like him. And I sort of suspect this isn't really happening. I'm not really thinking that Donald ever tucked Eric Trump into bed at night. And it seems to me like not exactly the type of family that would really be doing this at night. That's just my instinct, but it is an absolutely fascinating family in that sense. I do feel bad for those kids. And the Pledge of Allegiance does feel really antiquated. I remember when I first moved to the United States, I think it was in first grade, I was introduced to the Pledge of Allegiance, and it always struck me as a little bit weird. And what I always did was I would mouth the words to look like I was participating, you know, peer pressure. I was a kid, but I wouldn't actually say them because it felt so cringy and creepy and bizarre. And then I don't know, I have the memory that it just kind of stopped. I don't know if it might have been that in middle school, the Pledge of Allegiance, instead of being done at the classroom level, was done like over the loudspeaker where the whole school would do it. But then it just faded out. I don't know if it was while I was in middle school or maybe when I went to high school. It's not really clear. But it's a strange thing to be doing in school. And it seems bizarre to be doing it every night before going to bed. I don't even believe he's actually doing it. It's worse if he's doing it. But I don't even believe that he's actually doing it. Let me know what you think.